How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Doing pretty good, man. Really excited to be sitting here with you today because not only do you make great work, but this film I feel like is going to just be something that people will talk about for years to come. So
Thanks.
I want to pick your brain about this one. You know,
Okay.
the Trekverse is something that people take very seriously.
Yeah.
There's a huge fan base, and when it comes to some of the pressures that you may feel as a director, how do you go about being intuitive in understanding the hearts and the minds of fans everywhere?
Well, I kind of go back to even Fast and Furious. When I first, got into the series, to the franchise, I'm not a car guy,
Right.
and I want to be honest. And so I went and kind of talked to people whose passion is in car. The passion is in that world. And I want to equate that to my passion. Like, I'm a big basketball fan, and so, I can watch a basketball movie. I could tell if someone's respecting my passion or not,
Right.
And so I learned from that. And so when I came on this, it was interesting because I do have a passion for Star Trek. I grew
Yes.
up with the original series, and there's a love for it. But I also understand that there's other people whose passion supersedes mine, you know?
Right.
So I really took some time. I talked to them, and it was really getting that context that was very important. But at the same time, I think it's my job not just to pander, My
Yeah.
job is to acknowledge and to respect
Absolutely.
that passion, but at the same time, it's my job also to challenge those notions,
Yeah.
And so that was, to me, once I got, once I decided to kind of be part of this franchise, that's something that I had to take to heart.
I love it. Something else that kind of resonates when I watched the film was that, there's a fine balance between, staying true to the essence and the core of the story, as well as having the luxury of this or millions of dollars of budget in these action sequences. So how do you kind of walk that line when it comes to staying true to the story, yet still having all these, technology?
Well, that's the thing is that, these movies, you have every tool available, in the world to make, however you want to do it. And that you could get greedy or just kind of lose sight, And so for me, it's always come from the characters. I'm here to service the characters. So
Yeah.
whether it's a $20 movie
Yeah.
or $200 million movie, my process has to be disciplined and the same. And so for me, it's always through these characters. These are characters I love.
Right.
And I wanted to explore and have an emotional connection with the audience. And I think once we're able to do that, then, these action sequences is to service that relationship.
Right.
It's not there just to make it look cool.
Yeah.
And so that's something I take to heart.
As a director, you have this career of where you're constantly in communication with your audience. They communicate back with you through box offices and whatever. So when it comes to just telling stories that you feel like will resonate for people for years to come, is there a particular genre or somewhere that you would like to go in order to kind of help to define your legacy when it comes to you as a director?
I feel like I'm still very early on in my career, and I think, my choices have never been strategic. If you look at the films I made, it's kind of odd because I don't really want to think that way, and I'm
Yeah.
not built that way. For me, it's always about, there's a challenge that's a personal challenge. Is it going to make me a better filmmaker today than I was yesterday,
Right.
And sometimes it's very kind of esoteric in my choices, but all I know is sometimes when I get on set, whether it's to do a TV show or whatever, and I feel this kind of like butterfly, that's something I feel like, wait, I'm not supposed to feel that. I've been making movies for 14 years now, but I still kind of want to respect that feeling because that means it's going to put me in a place where there's room for growth,
Right.
and that's important to me.
Well, I think your growth in your career is quite obvious. Every film you do, we see the improvements, and we look forward to a lot more of your work for years to come. So, thank you for making just such great work.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Man, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I think everything needs to be laughed at. Do you get what I'm saying? To make it soft, to understand and accept. When I've heard jokes about child molestation of someone, and it was hilarious. I know that sounds crazy, but it helps.